Hello students, let's understand this very interesting chapter. The name of the chapter is Atoms and Molecules. Children, in this chapter we will be dealing with atoms, molecules, ions. We will study how to write the chemical formulas of various compounds. So let's discuss the chapter, and here we will be talking about atoms and molecules. So we should know that matter. What is matter? Anything that occupies space and has mass is matter. And matter contains atoms. Where is matter? Everywhere. And matter contains atoms or molecules. It means atoms and molecules are everywhere, right? So let's discuss the chapter in details. So first of all, let's talk about the introduction of the chapter. Here, I would like to emphasize that Maharishi Kannad in around 500 BC postulated that matter is also known as Padarth, is composed of very tiny individual particles called Parmanu. Rather than atoms, Maharishi Kannad, he said that they are Parmanu, right? Pakud Katyam explained that the combination of different Parmanu or atoms give rise to different type of matter, right? So we know that whenever we are talking about different substances, the different substances should have different types of atoms. Think about water and carbon dioxide. Can water and carbon dioxide has all constituents same? No. Water has hydrogen and oxygen to make H2O. Carbon dioxide has carbon and oxygen to make carbon dioxide, which is CO2. Similarly, when we talk about sodium chloride, the constituents of sodium chloride should be same with water and carbon dioxide? Definitely no. Sodium chloride is NaCl, right? Its formula is NaCl. It contains sodium and chlorine. So the constituents completely differ in different type of matters. So first point was that Maharishi Kannad was the first one who talked about Padarth or matter in 500 BC, and he said that Padarth contains small type of individual particles which are named as Parmanu. And the other philosopher, Pakuda, he explained that combination of different types of Parmanu gave rise to different types of matter. Then we have Democritus and Leucippus. They suggested that particles are divisible only to certain extent. Democritus named these particles as atoms. So there could be a question, who coined the term atoms? So atoms were named atoms by the philosopher Democritus, right? He said that the particles are known as atoms, the smallest particles of matter, and atoms mean indivisible. We can't divide them. This is what he said. Followed by we had John Dalton. He explained further that the nature and the properties of atoms. So what he explained? He explained a theory. The name of the theory is Dalton's atomic theory. And in this theory, he described the nature and the properties of atoms. Then we had another scientist. In the sequence, we have Lavoisier, Anton Lavoisier. He laid the foundation of chemical sciences and gave laws of chemical combination with the help of Joseph L. Proust. So we have lot of history of structure of atom. So we have lot of history of atoms. Atoms were first of all described by Maharishi Kannad in 500 BC, and then the sequential steps, sequential discoveries led to the final explanation of laws of chemical combination. And who gave the laws of chemical combination? Lavoisier and Proust. They gave the laws of chemical combinations. And what did Dalton do? Dalton actually explained the properties of atoms in his theory. What is the name of the theory? Dalton's atomic theory, right? So, what were the laws of chemical combination? We will discuss in details, but there were two laws basically. which were established on the basis of experiments conducted by Lavoisier. He is Lavoisier. And Joseph Proust. He is Joseph Proust. So they both did wonderful experiments and we got the laws. One is law of conservation of mass and another is law of constant proportion. They gave those two wonderful laws and we will discuss those laws one by one in details. And here we have the first law, which is named as law of conservation of mass. Means mass will remain conserved. How? Let's study the statement of the law. So the law says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Means whenever a chemical reaction is taking place, there will be no atom which will be created or destroyed. The number of atoms will remain constant and thereby the mass of the atoms will remain constant. So mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. This law was proposed by Antoine Lavoisier. In other words, it states that during a chemical reaction, mass of reactants must be equal to mass of products. Mass of reactants must be equal to mass of products. So children, a very important point to note it down, that reactants are the substances which participate in a chemical reaction and products are those substances which are formed during a chemical reaction. So if a chemical process occurs, the initial substances are reactants and the final substances formed are products. And what do we mean by the law? It says that the initial substances and final substances during the reaction will have same mass. They should have equal mass during a chemical reaction.